Okay, guys, we're not gonna start yet officially. We have Oklahoma in the house. It says, "Yo, hey, Felix from Oakley." That's awesome. It's a big winter storm outside today, and Felix still took the time to come here. How come you guys are so quiet? Come on, give me some noise!
Felix!
Felix! Felix!
Felix!
Thank you, guys.
Alright, guys, we're starting. Cowbell. Guys, Christmas has officially started. Special thanks to Marc Juteau from Classic Auctions. He's the man that made this magic happen tonight. He brought us for Christmas, guys, Felix the Cat Potvin, the man, the legend, right here.
Thank you.
How's it going, Felix?
Pretty good, and you?
Super well, man. Super well. I was nervous all week. I was like, oh man, I just want Felix to be here ready. I want to get this over with because I'm so scared of the storm. But you're here and we're doing it. I'm super happy, man.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah?
It's fun. It's just not even a storm out there. It's Quebec here, so we're used to that.
Are you still on the road a lot with like juniors teams or?
No, I'm done coaching about 2 years ago. I stopped in Magog, so I'm spending more time back home on the land I have and
Taking it relax.
working with woods
Yeah?
instead of kids. So keeping busy out
So
there.
you're
in
a
the
woodman,
forest.
yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So guys, mask talks today. Obviously, so our goalie mask family, they're a bunch of crazy goalie mask collectors. That's what unites us. And it's collectors from everywhere, from North America all the way to California to Montreal, like all across. And we're all on this group called the Goalie Mask Family. So we're super honored to have you here today.
It's good to be here.
Thanks, man. And we're going to talk about goalie masks today. So that's what we're doing, all right?
Yep.
Justin Herman that says, "Hey Felix, do you still have the picture I drew for you when I was 12?"
He lost it in the
Yes,
wind.
I can't remember that, so I can't. There's no way you can keep everything, but you know what? Like anytime you do something and somebody drew something of you or write you a letter, it's something that's nice to hear. Unfortunately, you just can't keep everything, but thanks for doing that anyway for me.
Excellent.
Guys, I printed out a few pictures of Felix and his different masks. And now we're going to ask Felix today, Felix, do you still remember this mask and where it's at right now? Because the highest here in the world of collectors are the game-worn masks. That's like the most prized possession. And then after that, we got the autograph mask that we have right here that you're going to sign for us after. But everybody always wants to know, where is that specific mask that I saw on TV? Where's that specific mask that I saw Felix wear in like 1994? So we're going to ask you right now. You up for it?
Yeah.
All right, so mask number one, Felix. You still remember this mask that you wore?
Yeah, this was the original one with the Leafs. Like I believe this is the first one that I wear in Toronto with that Greg Harrison drew for me. Yeah.
Did you have a say in the artwork? Did you say like, I want a theme with a cat?
Greg was a pretty specific guy. He kind of knew where he was going, and he took great pride of his mask. And Greg came out with the idea of that goes along with the cat show, like the play was going on in Toronto, the play cat.
Oh.
So he kind of took the idea from the poster of the.
He's a real artist, eh? Like,
really, and I kind of like the idea because it's not obvious. It's not an obvious cat that you put on the mask, and I like the fact that it didn't have too much thing on the mask, and you can really identify it.
Did the name the cat come before the mask, or because you were named the cat, then the mask came?
I had the nickname when I was junior a little bit, and then it kind of followed it with the Leafs. So obviously that was a great
you were already the
subject
cat.
to do that. Yeah.
The cat. Like, that stuck. Every picture, one picture out of two, somebody says, can you write the cat? Like, it really stuck. Like how Eddie was the eagle, you're the cat. It's just, that's your identity, right? And then we have this version of the mask.
Yeah, I believe this one, Harry took Heidi of, I think there was like drops on the chin here. Like, he wanted to make like a
bloody cat?
Maybe, yeah. maybe
the cat
other
killed the
one
mouse.
was too nice. I like the other one better. This one had like I said, maybe too much detail, and it wasn't standing out as much. But all the masks that Greg did for me were all in the same. There's only little thing we changed from team to team, and sometimes we had a bit more color, or we took some color off. But you know, we try to change a bit at all times.
So where are those masks now?
Some of them, I've still owned 2 of them. Some of them, the team were keeping them. And
Really?
who knows what they were doing with them back then. But
So when you leave, the mask does not belong to you, belongs to
not
the team.
not always. Sometimes you do. But back in the days, it was more the team would keep the mask. Yeah.
And then the trainers would probably have it, and then they could sell it, or they could keep
No,
it.
they wouldn't. No, I don't know what they were doing with it. But,
Wow.
but it wasn't to the trainer. I think it was because back then the team were paying for the mask, so
Right.
I guess it was their property. So
Okay.
some give it to you, some keep them.
So those two first masks, you don't know where they are right now.
No.
Oh, the mystery's out there, guys. If anybody's gonna find them, it's gonna be Marc. Marc finds all the treasures. He has the best stuff. How about this one?
Well, this what they did is they had some baby blues in it.
Is it the
in
same
white.
mask as the other one, or this is a different painted one, different shell?
No. We've changed mask. Maybe I'd say pretty much every year, every second year, because they get pretty worn out, and cracked up, and at some point they weren't safe to keep them. So
This is what we call the complex FELIX mask. Complex because it has shading compared to this one that's very classic, very in your face.
Yeah.
This complex one has the shading. You want to show them? Which one do you guys prefer? The complex FELIX, the rookie FELIX, or the classic? Let me know in the comment section. We'll get to the comments at the end of. And now, this one I would say is your most, like your signature mask, your most recognizable.
Yeah, and then that's the one I enjoy the most. That's the one that I think stand out the most, just because it's basic colors. There's no shading. There's nothing. You can see it from out far. There's not too many detail, and that's what we base all the other masks to that one. Like whether it was with the Islanders, whether it was with the Kings or the Canucks, like we always kept the same kind of pattern. We just change the mask all the time.
Those are teeth in the bottom, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Yeah. It's pretty violent.
Yeah.
Would you say, you said that you kept 2 of your masks. Are these?
Yeah, this one.
This is one of them?
Yeah.
And how many versions of this mask do you have?
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. So you chose to keep this one?
Yep.
And the other one would be?
The King one. I kept the Kings, yeah. I've obviously that's the 2 places where it meant the most to me in my career, like Toronto, obviously, because all the years I've played, but I had a pretty good 3-year spell with the Kings where it was fun to play there, so I kept them.
Would you say you're attached to your equipment, to your mask here? Or?
No, I'm not. No, I guess it's really funny. Some of the players are, some are not at all. Probably because we wore it enough, and then we just got tired of it after a while of wearing gears. And I kept some. Obviously, I've dealt with Marc with some of my stuff, and it was hanging in the basement for a while. I asked the kids if they wanted. They took what they wanted, and the rest of it, I did a good move with doing business with Marc, and then that's all.
So you don't have that sentimental value that you're attached to?
Not really, not like a lot of people are, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess it's normal because I've played the game. For me owning my own stuff, it's not
Doesn't mean
like
much.
no, not at
I
all.
like that, man. He has moved on. Like that ran its time, and now it's a different era. There's no need to hold on to anything. I'll hold on to your King's mask though, if ever you.
We'll see.
I'll hold on to it very dearly. So this one is the one that you kept.
Yeah. Like this is basically the same patterns, and then Greg changed the side of the mask with the crown, the king crown.
Yeah.
And I really like the idea, whether it was this one, whether it was in Boston, where it was the bear claw that was on the side, or in it was a good idea by Greg.
And it's an amazing mask because of the color purple. I find it's very like royal.
Yeah.
And you went there while they're wearing the black and the purple. And I just find like color wise, it just looks.
we had the black sweater with the purple. We had the purple sweater with the black. That everybody called us Barney. And It was.
Is that what the opponents were saying? Barney?
No, the players were saying that when we were wearing them. But,
Really?
they were nice. They were nice. They were a nice color choice, and it was fun to play there as well.
Like I was just talking to Jerry before, and we said, you always had the coolest gear. Like I don't know if you thought about it beforehand, like the Coho pads, the Coho Revolution, the way it matches with like the entire uniform, the mask. It just looked like a well put together, well thought out, like outfit. Did you put a lot of like?
No, I didn't put a lot of hour. I had enough to think about the game and make sure I was ready to play the game. But of course, you work with the company that makes them, and you have a little say into it. And but I got to give them credit that for the most part they came up with great ideas.
So you just look good naturally. But they're falling. Oh, this one is special.
Yeah, the Islanders one again was. It was the same pattern, the color, and that's what I like about the mask most of the time. It stands out so good. That one, I can't tell you what's on the side. Harry came with the ID, but they look good, and it was again, it was in the same. The thing is, everybody that saw the mask, they could recognize that it was
like a signature Felix.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. It was kind of like a signature, and that's what we wanted to do. Like I didn't want to change team and then completely change the mask.
Right.
And, so that was a good branding.
So where's that mask nowadays?
I don't have great memories with that. That might be one of them that I'd give to Marc or I put on the auction, or maybe the Islanders back then they were not a team that rolls in a lot of money, so they might have kept it.
That's
Yeah.
pretty bad, man. It's New York and they took it back. Do we still have our Mike Smith? It just looks cool. The colors of the orange and the blue, like it just looks cool together. So when Felix had those colors, I thought it was really once again impactful as a color pattern.
Yeah.
So if anybody from the Islanders is watching, can we have Felix mask back now? And then there was this one, very special again.
Yeah, I guess. Well, again, the same idea, and then on the side, back then Harry made it match with what our logo were at then. When that was the days that the Canucks had we were blue and silver and red or blue.
What is that artwork that's on the side there?
I'm not sure. He just made it match with the kind of like, even our logo were kind of like a.
It's very trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The logo was kind of like that too, so he just made it match.
It looks like some sort of tribal kind of artwork.
It looks Native American.
Yeah, Native American. Yeah. In BC, they have a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So Felix is gonna sign some masks for us right after this, including one of these. Speaking of,
This would have been maybe my third favorite.
Oh, yeah?
I thought the yellow, mostly yellow masks stand out really nice, and then with the black and the white again, I look at the picture and every time
you like it.
I'm amazed how nice the mask looked like.
So if we could give you a present, we could make you a mask like this for you to add on to your other two ones on your man cave. If ever you're interested, we'll get it done for you.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll see.
So where's that mask now, Felix?
Again, I can't tell. This one, I'm pretty sure, like I put it on the auction.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Marc gets all the best toys.
Oh, he does a good job.
Oh, he's the best, man. Marc's the best in the business. Closing with this one.
This one's home. Yeah,
It's home?
Yeah, it stayed home. This this one was of my older Leafs mask that was all beat up, and then a friend of mine
No way.
kind of like repainted it for the classic. So
was it the classic mask?
this one I kept.
Repainted?
Yeah, kind of, but he put a
Really?
bit of color in it.
It's like a mix of both of your masks.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is
I gave him 3 pictures and he kind of like mixed matched 3 of them.
that was what, the alumni game?
Yeah, this one I'm not sure. Yeah, this one was in Toronto against Detroit. Yeah,
Okay.
and then 2 years before we played Detroit in Detroit.
Well, that
Yeah, that was cold by the lake there.
that explains a lot of the mysteries behind Felix's mask. Most of the masks Felix doesn't know where they are. So the search goes on.
Yeah, keep on searching.
He keeps on searching. Metallica song. So I have a question for you, Felix, that is not to do with masks, but so many people we're asking me. You have to ask Felix this. How was it during the fight against Ron Hextall? Everybody wants to know what you were thinking or what was like the feeling, because that's like one of the most iconic fights, goalie fights.
Well, obviously, I didn't have much time to think because I was looking at what was going on the ice, and then I look up and Ron was skating 100 miles an hour down the ice, and then you just got time to react. But back in the days in the junior and growing up with my brother and my cousin, and we've been a family that we've even playing out in the street. We've had some.
Oh yeah.
It got pretty. It got pretty
pretty
rough at times. So I've kind of had an idea of what to do. So
right.
But for what you think, you don't have time to think. You just react and do what you can. And obviously, it turned out pretty good.
Are you and Ron friends nowadays?
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's funny. I've seen him a couple times, and he's really a good guy. And it's just something that Ron was playing the game that way. He was really into it, really hyper, and it just happened that way.
Ron was like one of the scariest guys. Watching as a little kid, like 8 years old, 9 years old, you watch that, you're like, oh my god, he's scary. But you, not only did you hold your own, like ask anybody, you won that fight. And
I like to think that. I'm sure if you ask him, he'd say the opposite. But yeah, things went well.
All right, Mark. So you gotta get Ron here so that we can ask him what he thinks. Standing beside Felix, he's a huge guy, man. I can see why he won that fight. Like, I'm not messing with the man from the woods. Felix will mess you up. End of questions, guys. End of questions.
Thank you.
So, guys, now we're gonna read a few of the comments while Felix signs these masks. And once again, Felix, thank you so much for taking the time today to come on Friday.
Yeah.
To chill with us. This means so much to all of us.
Thanks.
Collectors.
Glad you're happy. Good.
Awesome, man. So, guys, we have a few of our collectors that ordered their mask, and Felix is going to sign some of them right now. This one is already signed, but we're going to dedicate this one to Timo. Which country is Timo from? Finland.
Yeah.
From Finland, and he has all of your masks.
Really?
Yeah, he has the entire collection.
So you want me to just throw his
Yeah,
name
so
or
we're just
sign
gonna,
it as well?
we're just gonna write to Timo right there.
It's not spelled the same.
So actually, if there's any comments you want to read out right now, we'll read out some comments and some questions while Felix signs the mask.
There's Josh that's saying, "Hi Felix, I'm a huge fan of your playing style and taunting players with your glove. Your mask and pads were so iconic. What would your mask and pads look now if you were with Toronto?"
Same thing, probably the same. I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't change anything. Like, even nowadays, sometimes I look at masks where I think maybe they have too much detail on it, and then you're from out far, you can't tell what it is. So mine was simple, but I really enjoyed what it looked like.
Perfect. A couple of people were commenting on that mask saying it was a classic and definitely a classic.
A classic and definitely a classic.
Those are two comments that came up. Another comment from Damien. "You are and always will be my favorite Leafs goaltender. It was amazing growing up in Toronto and being a Leafs fan. Getting to meet you in the 90s is definitely still one of my favorite memories from my teen years. Go Leafs, go. TML for life." TML?
Tomorrow, Toronto Maple Leafs.
This one is cute. So it says to Katie. I don't know if the client is watching, but his girlfriend used to send you love letters in high school, like all the time, and you were her idol. And now, as a Christmas present, he's getting her this mask, but dedicated to Katie from you.
Nice.
Oh, you should write XOXO.
With a heart.
No.
Justin that says, "Favorite Pellet player of all time. Love your time with the Leafs. Those back-to-back conference final runs, beating the Wings, just the best. Met you a few years. Awesome time." Somebody else says, "LA Kings mask is my favorite," and he's saying this as a Habs fan.
But that's the best part about like these legends is that they provided us with so many memories when we were kids. Like you guys were like superheroes to us. When you were like this, you look like Optimus Prime to me. Like you don't look like a human. You look like a superhero. And that's why it's so cool about this world of memorabilia is that we're like just holding on to little parts of our childhood, and you were like a big part of it.
Well, I'm glad that I could do that.
Thank you for all the memories,
welcome.
man.
Yeah.
So another message from Ryan, sitting here watching and telling my kids how awesome Felix is and how I became a goalie because of him. And my man cave and the gear, the posters are so awesome, bringing back so many memories. Enjoy Andy, tell Potvin he rocks.
Thank you.
Rock,
You
Felix.
rock.
Thank you.
Metallica rock. And this one, so I want to show Felix this one. This is a reverse retro that we did. So if Felix was still playing nowadays, I think he would have something like this, just with a touch of modern. Little touch of-
Maybe I'll have something
Huh?
a bit different, but you know, it's still kind of like the same idea behind the mask.
Like you always got to keep the teeth.
Yeah.
And what is this, whiskers? I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
This one is to Edward. How do you like the matte finish on this, Felix?
I like the.
Yeah?
I like it. Yes, it's a nice color.
It's dark. It's like it's sort of like a Batman theme a bit.
A comment from Mark, glad I have an autographed Potvin mask. Such a great tendy and a great era of masks. Jason saying, thanks Andy and Felix for the stories. Great way to end a work week.
The best way to end a work week.
Glad we can help.
All Lewis is saying, can Felix come back annually?
We'll see.
I think it was.
We'll see.
And another message, thanks for all the great memories.
Thank you.
I think we're gonna wrap it on that note. Thank you for the great memories. It's like that's the essence of it all. On that note, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you again, Marc, for making this magic happen. Marc Juteau, Classic Auctions, guys. If you're into game-worn items of any sports, a lot of hockey stuff, Classic Auctions is like the place to go for your game-worn stuff. And lastly, thank you, Felix, for being here, and thank
You're
you
welcome.
for the memories,
No
man.
problem. Pleasure.
Let's ring the bell for Felix!
Hey!